Okay, this is Deb from the Flaying Quebec City Brutal Tech, and you're listening to what? What's the name?
Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Okay, just wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna need. Okay, this is Dib from the Flaying Brutal Tech Death Metal Band from Quebec City, Canada, and now you're listening to Brutally Delicious.
Brutally Delicious!
Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast. I'm Bruce.
I'm Chris.
And happy Veterans Day to any veteran out there if you're listening. And if you're not, stop by. And if you see one, buy him a cup of coffee and shake his hand.
Amen, brother.
And even it doesn't have to be on, because you're not going to be hearing this on Veterans Day. So I don't care if it's next week or a month from now. Stop and say hello.
Whenever you do it.
And buy him a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and get Diddler. I don't know how to pronounce this name here. Didier Samson. We're going to have to... How do you say it?
Didier.
Yeah. Hold on. Is this French?
Yeah.
All right. So wait. Then you announce him then.
I don't know how to announce it.
All right. So
we'll ask him. We'll just ask him. Every time this day comes around, I think of my grandfather quite a bit. He was in a concentration camp for 2 years.
Oh, you're kidding. I didn't know that.
In Germany, yeah. Just over 2 years. Yeah, he was abducted. We don't really know like the full story.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad went over to Holland about 3 years ago. And the family farm had all these little hiding places for Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandfather was a truck driver at the time. And him and his brother were both apprehended and taken to a concentration camp. So we kind of have a feeling that they were transporting Jews into hiding spots in Holland, which was a common thing.
Right.
But yeah, he ended up there, and he was never the same after that.
I imagine. Wow.
He potatoes are like something you always eat, right?
Yeah.
My grandfather he couldn't even smell potatoes.
Oh, is that like a staple that was there or something?
The only thing they were allowed to eat was potato peel soup. So they'd boil potato peels in this water.
Oh, fuck.
And that was their only food. And so like if potatoes were even on the table, he would fucking like go through post-traumatic stress. He'd lose his mind. So there was never potatoes, which as a kid I didn't really understand, but as I got older I did.
Wow.
And I learned later on in life, like, because people knew they were going to die in those camps.
Oh, yeah.
So when people realized that the day was their day, they were going to die, they worked in this, like, iron smelting, like they were making metal for weapons for the Germans. Mm-hmm. That was their job. So they'd try and do anything possible to make the metal shitty. So, like, if people knew they were going to die, they'd throw themselves into the smelter to try and ruin that batch of metal. They would piss in it and shit in it, whatever they could do,
Right.
It's fucking crazy.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
Oh yeah. And then when the war ended, they were set free by Canadian soldiers, and which is why they immigrated to Canada. And he had a daughter he hadn't seen. My dad was like 7 at the time, I guess, when the war ended.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to sneak around because, now when a war's over, everybody knows because there's all this communication. But back then there was no communication. So lots of Germans didn't know the war was over. So they were still...
Oh, so they said it was still going on and still doing their thing?
And they were trying to get back to Holland, and they were dodging all these Germans trying to kill them. They had to steal a truck, and they had to make a key out of wood. And like, there's all this shit that they had to do to get back, It's fucking crazy. Wow. Scars all over his back. It was ugly.
Is this the same day in Canada for Veterans Day as it is here, or is it different?
In Canada, it's the same day. They just call it Remembrance Day.
Okay, but it is I didn't know if it was the same day because I know you guys have different like Thanksgivings and all that kind of stuff.
I think Western democracy in general, just this is the day. So
right.
But so I always think about that quite a bit.
I don't imagine. I mean, I imagine so. That's crazy. I didn't get that close to it.
Well, on a day like today, I think about it, but and like my dad is, he immigrated to Canada with my grandfather because the Canadians are the ones that, set them free. My grandfather was like, "This is the second war in Europe. I'm fucking out of here. We have to leave Europe." So they came to Canada with the promise of a job and everything, and they got here and there was nothing. And they ended up in North Canada, like fucking cold as shit Canada. They didn't have like the right shoes or fucking nothing, and they didn't speak English, and they had to try and find a way to make it.
That's crazy, dude.
It's every time I think, fuck, life's so hard, I think about that, and I'm like, went through a concentration camp, survived a war, got past the Germans, immigrated to a country, didn't speak the language, didn't have a job, didn't have the clothes,
and still succeeded.
Massively, yeah, absolutely.
Wow. All right. Well, I don't mean to make light of any of that, but he's on the other, ready for us to call him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, this is Did.
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good. This is Bruce. Meet my partner, Chris.
I'm Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, you
gotta go big voice.
You got to help us out here because we're having trouble pronouncing your name. What's the correct pronunciation?
Of my name, my French name is Didier, but you call me D,
I like D much better because you don't even want to know how I was trying to pronounce it.
DDA.
Yeah, Didier. You go like this, hey, and DD, and hey, and that's it. So DDA, that's the French thing, but
right on.
Is
it cold up there right now?
When the people speaking, that's French.
Is it cold up there right now?
Sorry? Yeah, it's right time. I'm at a job. I'm a lawyer in the day, so I'm at the courthouse. So it's just in between two cases.
Oh wow!
Wow, a lawyer and a death metal musician. I love it.
A death metal lawyer.
Yeah.
This is our first.
Yes, I am. Yeah, it's the devil's advocate,
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I'm just wondering, is it cold up there?
Yeah. I think winter is about. I think it's kind of Game of Thrones coming now. I think. Yesterday was pretty cold, and we had ice all over the place and snow. So it's time to get out with your fat bike and go and climb all these mountains with your bike. It's pretty hostile up there, It's kind of like Norway and stuff, in Quebec City. We're pretty upper north.
Oh wow!
America.
I thought you were in Montreal, but Quebec City is way north.
Yeah, but where you guys are in States?
I'm in Virginia.
I'm also in Virginia, but more likely DC.
Oh, the States. I love the States. But, you guys have a better weather and temperature maybe in your places than us. Here we're pretty it's pretty schizophrenic, weather we got here upper Canada and Quebec. We can get that tropic weather in the summer, and it gets like a blizzard and like Russian temperature, like Siberia in the winter. So you got the extremes. So it gives a lot of environment for extreme music too. So
absolutely,
I think it's good. Are we on air right now or recording something?
We're recording a podcast.
Okay, this podcast. So you're gonna play this afterwards.
Yeah. In a week or two, it'll be out.
So do I have to speak like we're doing a direct or something like that?
You just be yourself. There's no rules. We're good.
Yeah, we're really relaxed. We call ourselves Howard Stern meets Seinfeld, but worse.
Okay, yeah, that's called American culture,
I
agree. I can be a good guest.
No, I want you to be yourself. That makes for the best guest.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna try to be one of myself. So at the same time, I'll try not to mix all the lawyer and musician and and anything else, whatever you want, you ask, and I'm gonna answer your questions.
All
If you guys are cops, like I think everything stops here.
Okay. we're
I will
we're,
try
we're
not-
not going to. This is going to go over Bruce's head, but we're not going to violate your Charter of Rights and Freedoms at all.
How do you call that? Is the Fourth Amendment?
I don't know.
The
I'm
fifth.
not. I'm
No,
Canadian.
I think it's the fifth. Oh, you're Canadian. Okay.
I live in the
Yeah,
U.S.,
yeah.
but I'm Canadian, so
Okay.
we're not going to
Yeah.
violate your Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
And the right, or you got the right to remain silent. That's not good for interviews. That's a lawyer joke, guys. Pretty bad.
Yeah. So, how does a lawyer get into death metal?
I should say it otherwise. How a musician got to be a lawyer.
Oh.
Can tell you that, I've been raised with D-side and Chemical Corpse and, Creator, Pleasure to Kill and Extreme Aggression and Pestilence. I was 12. Now I'm 41. So at the time, most of the kids were more in music, I come from a small town, far east from Quebec City, of 5 hours, called Autrive. And we had those mixtapes at the time coming from the other side of the St. Lawrence River, where there was all these bands like Suffocation, Dayside, Cannibal Corpse, and a lot of big bands, Cryptopsy from Quebec
Yeah.
City, and Gorguts, and Death were pioneer at the time. There was there was a place where music would converge from Florida, New York, in Montreal. In the 90s. So I was a kid on the other side of the river, and we had those guys who were going to mission to those shows. I was kind of too young to get there because we had to take the ferry. So the guy would go and cross the river with the ferry and go to the show venues that were there and would bring back some mixtapes of almost everything that was going at the time in the tape trading. We had that little record store that would go independent with all distributors that would send at that time was Metal Blade Records, Nuclear Blast, and Roadrunner was Relapse. They got distributed in my small village, so we would go to the record shop and get all the CDs first. I was the first in the town to get that Consuming Impulse Pestilence at the time. So I grew up in the music. Like my mom, my dad, my sis, we were all in music. Like not all musicians that was playing since I had my Cyndi Lauper and I think Michael Jackson. I was 5, something like that. 5, 6, 7 on a little, you call that in English?
Ghetto Blaster.
No, the big vinyl disc, the big disc. I had that, like the turntable. Yeah, turntable. I
Oh,
had
yeah.
a turntable. So
Yeah.
I was more into becoming a rock star than anything in the movie that was going perpetually in my head at the time and all over my life. There was something in me about I've got something to do with the music and especially metal at the time. So everything about being a normal person, going to normal shit and going in the ranks of society was secondary for me. All right. So at the time, I had to move when I was 20 from this little town to Quebec City because at the time I had finished I study in how do you call that, science, and then I ended up working with trucks and in a garage. And I went in '98. Okay, I decided. Okay, so I should go and get some to study something to make something of my life because I'm gonna end up here and there's nothing I can do in the garage and where I come from, even with the music or professionally at the time. So I made the choice to leave my hometown, and it was kind of a big journey. And I had to objective at the time was to create my band and going to get a job and study to get a job. So everything in my life was made walking on these two paths at the same time. All right, there's a dichotomy in this. There's a paradox in people's minds at first when they see that. Oh, you're a lawyer, so you're really conventional, and you're death metal musician, so you're pretty fucking crazy at the same time. So how do you mix both?
Let me just say, I wouldn't want to be cross-examined by you.
No, definitely not.
Why not? Yeah. There's none that much. I'm not so shy. Are you going to tell me the truth?
Did you ever have a mosh pit breakout in the courtroom?
Not much, but it's kind of sometimes gets we got humor. You got humorous.
Yeah.
It's funny. It gets sometimes it gets really funny. And there's a way that you got because I do criminal law as a defense attorney for 15 years, and I used to do some civil shit, but I just let it all this back when we changed the drummer in the band at the same time, and I only concentrated my practice on criminal law as a defense attorney, and every day I go there, I just jump up in the brawl at the courthouse, in the courtrooms, and it's war. Sometimes it's peace, but I'm having every day for 15 years now going in the weirdest and extreme shit that people are going through, and that. Sorry.
Hello?
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Everything's good.
Okay, it's good. So every day I see what you don't, or what people pay in the cinema, in the movie theaters to go and see. I live that every day. So
I bet you get a lot of inspiration for songwriting out of it.
yeah. Like I told him, because that question was asked before, and I got that secrecy, professional secrecy with the client, so I don't get into direct cases to get that in the music, but there's a lot of inspiration that gets, I think, through everything in this and all the principles of freedom and the cops and the authority and all the oppression that we can see that people when they get like little power, they think they become gods, living gods. They must be. Sometimes I think it's misplaced to believe that people can have that kind of power. So,
Amen.
I'm not a lawyer that is there for being a lawyer and whatever the fuck you think lawyer is. I made that for myself first. I'm gonna understand how I can be free at first. I did that for myself. So doing that myself and doing my business, I'm my boss. I'm the boss, and I decide. I decide. That's all. That's all it is about. So doing this can help me that to go in my journey and endeavor with the music. And for 25 years, I've been playing music, and we went from bands to bands, and that band is the band that is going to get us to where to live, to live the dream. You can dream your life. There's a lot of people dreaming their life, and sometimes you just get off the trolley, get pissed shit face, goes the hookers and stuff like that, and everybody's going to stay on their path, but is going to just go in the vice. So I'm going to wait for them in the vice as a lawyer, but I'm going to provoke the vice too as a death metal musician, because that's where we're all about. This is about being totally free in the process. So my life is a life that's dedicated to metal and to being free. So that's my conception of my life right now. So it's pretty often that we do whatever we do, and we don't give a shit about anything. We just do our stuff, and that's it.
That's nice.
I was watching your videos in preparation for the show, and they're really, really cool. I wasn't expecting those type of videos from a death metal band. What made you guys do those animations?
La valse du scorpion. La valse du scorpion means the Scorpio waltz, and it's the concept about toxic relations with everything. Like might be girls, man, jobs, and parents and shit, and drugs and whatever the fuck that's gonna fuck your mind up, and you're still coming back to this to get the adrenaline rush. You still come back to this. So I had that situation, as you can see personally in the video. I wrote this storyline, and the song was I started write the song with Mike, the drummer, and it's a completely automatic writing process on this one on the music. I had like two riffs that were on the guitar that were for years. Just put that in. We went the automatic writing process. We almost did that for 75% of the album. And I wrote like few lyrics, like maybe four lines in the cemetery. November 1st, 2017, gave that to the lyricist and vocalist Will, singer in the band. So he does all the rigs, but I had this flash in the cemetery because every year I go to the cemetery so I can pay my respects to the dead. And I did that on the Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos,
Right.
every fucking year since 17 years. And we started on this. So I said to myself, I gotta get out of this. I had that relation with one girl at the time. It was pretty intense, pretty passionate. So, when you love someone, when you hate someone, when you hate someone, you hate them so much, you chop the head of the person in the video. It's all about getting back in the Scorpio walls. You don't win. Ronnie is the guy. You see Ronnie, the guy in the video, is the red guy, and the red guy with no skin. I mean, he's been skinned alive. That's the point. If you look at the Flaying logo, the eye is the guy is hanged like by the feet with the both hand tied in the back. This is a mascot, like Maiden. They got that heady guy. Megan there, they got the big guy, and whatever.
Yeah.
Every band got their guys. That guy run the head guy, and he's.
Hey, did you're dropping out? We've lost your call.
You there?
Sorry.
Hello?
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah. So you lost.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
You're back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, that's shit, huh? Okay, so you want me to start? You want? Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. No,
Wait
we're
a second. Okay, I'm just gonna figure out something here about the Wi-Fi. The professionals. So do you get me now?
Yeah.
loud and clear on my end.
Me too.
That's that. Okay, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so where did you lose about the explanation of the video?
Yeah, we got it.
You got it. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the point about the Scorpio. The Scorpio was we wanted to do something more with this. I wanted to write a little animation. It's pretty shitty, it's pretty old school, and it's a B side of. It's pretty crappy, but we have the music, we have the flame, we got that environment, of the artwork, and we got characters. We got a like kind of Star Wars shit going on in this with Ronnie and the giant Scorpios and the army, the cops, the dead cops, and we got the dead priest. It's called the necrologist, and that's the guy. And the women in this is got inspired from something that happened, but she's the women's necrologist, so she's going for the home run. She's gonna chop every woman's head off. She wants to be the woman, and you got that guy. You see, Ronnie has been captured. So when he takes the Scorpio venom, gets that really big power, so he can kill the Scorpio alone. But it takes with the basis. We went to that. It takes 5,000 dead cops to go and beat the fucking Scorpio. So we're all in this kind of weird shit that is going through the flame to one song, two songs, and that we are having fun with this. But we got ritual stuff going for the third one. And this one, Angry Undead, that came out on PRC Music on March 22nd. We've been touring like around Quebec, and we went to New Brunswick, and we went to Ontario and around. It was, I think, the end of a process that's been going through all of us for years and years and years. So it became a statement because the process that we used to create the music on this one was a process of like kind of dictatorship of your instrument that you're gonna collide with all the other musicians. But we went from a 5 piece to a 4 piece with the guitars lead guitar player at the time and drummers went out of the band, and Mike came at the behind the kit. So we had like that little meeting. So we spoke. What do you want to do? I want to do music. You want to do music? Me too. Me too. All right. How do we do that? Okay, we do that like this. So I come with riffs. I'm gonna play with Mike, and Seb is the bassist. Gonna look and put his shit through, and the vocals will come afterwards. And we're just gonna blend everything, and it fits. Nobody can say to the other one, okay, you're gonna play this, or you're not gonna play that, or you're gonna do this or that, and this and that. We had never had a fight over anything, in this
Wow.
band since we have changed the lineup in February 2016. So the drummer just learned all the songs from Han Hope, but we found out that Han Hope was written for two guitars, so we would lost the essence in live. So we decided to uh, chop off things because at the time on Angry Undead there was no solos I wouldn't make. Now I'm trying to get into solos for the second one, the third one. But we went from nothing to got signed, and got signed in May 2018. We went to the studio with Chris Donaldson on August 2018 to make the drum. Chris Donaldson has got the Grid studio in Montreal. He's the guitar player for Cryptopsy. So
Nice.
we went there. We did the drums, and we came back to Quebec City with one of our friends, Raphael Manafa. Raph is having a Boy Julio, so we would do everything there for the guitars and the vocals, and then we send back to the Grid. So he's going to mix and master all the thing that you've got now, and you listen to on these videos. We were at the time on aesthetics of mix that would imply a lot of bass, slappy bass, with the bass that's gonna get through the mix. Because right now there's a lot of fretless bass and tech bass and stuff like that. You should be on Creation. You could see Forest Lapointe, Dominic, and plays in First Fragment, Augury, and all these bands. And you got that Hugo Doyon Caro playing in Beyond Creation. There's a new emphasis on the lead of the bass. So we wanted to get that, but to keep our tone, because the bass in our band is kind of lead bass. Since we lost the lead guitar player, I'm a kind of a rhythm guitar player. I want to get more maybe into leads because I want to explore that on the next record and take. It's a big and huge responsibility to do something good, because it's better to have music without leads if the solos are shit. You have to bring something to the place. You have to bring something that's gonna fucking work. So I think that's the next step. For now, what's happening with the band? We went and worked with John Asher here in Montreal from Asher Media to push Angry on that everywhere, all over the net and all over the place in the province. So we went touring from March to now. We just made a little stop because our drummer is now recording with Deviant Process the drums. He was asked for that because he's kind of pretty. Is that how you say that? It's prodigious on the kit. So we are taking a break until we're gonna play with Beneath the Massacre in Sherbrooke, the Death Fest on the end of
Wow.
January, and then everything is going on schedule, for the Flaying right now. And we were nominated in our province at the GAMIC school, like the Independent Music Awards, we're nominated as the best metal album of the year.
Nice.
So we're gonna go there to the place of the gala of the awards. I think it's November 24th, and then I'm gonna grab the plane to Las Vegas to see Last Slayer show. So my month in November is pretty month of music, and I think living up to what we created and the success that we're getting. All
That's a
the
huge
work.
that's a huge
Sorry.
compliment to get that nod in Quebec for best metal
Yeah,
artist.
yes, because we've got Anonymous and Barf are really old bands, have been through all the years. and we're pretty stoked to be there, and it's honorable for us to be there with all these big bands, have been working their ass off all the years, and we're just like the band is gonna celebrate its 10th birthday on July 220. So I think in the last year, maybe year and a half, things started to move because at the time, maybe before, we did not have the right setting of goals and how we would pursue our way to the top. It's not when I say the top, it doesn't mean with competition with other people. It means just to the top of ourselves and say, okay, now am I leaving? Am I living my dream or dreaming my life? Okay, now I'm living my dream. So now we got this, we got a video. Then we got a video coming out for La Place du Parvis as a kind of Vox playthrough, but with a little touch that's gonna, maybe break the break the. I think it's kind of wrong what we're doing it is for the purists, but we don't give a fuck about everything.
I love
Yeah.
swearing lawyers. This is fucking awesome. Okay.
So yeah, you know those two lawyers in the states that about the shut the fuck up Friday. You should look. Yeah, they're pretty nice in giving you advice. That okay, today is shut the fuck up Friday. So if police officers roll you over, what do you ask? Am I being detained? No, not being detained. I invoke the fifth, and now you shut the fuck up. That's what they say.
In Canada, you're going to get in trouble for that, but in the U.S., that might get you shot.
Yeah, no, but you don't get that much problems with the cops. No, the cops and the authority are a big part of our lyrics and stuff. Because that's it. People even talk about Satan, about religion, about cataclysm. Angry undead is the point of all these undeads, the movies, and just imagine yourself just like Walking Dead. Just get out of your office right now, and everybody's a fucking zombie. What are you gonna do? But we have this kind of mutation that we gave that could help us to say whatever we're going to say is going to be a satire or whatever is going to be really violent at the same time. But it's all about undead, so it becomes friendly. Undeads are friendly. But we decided to put these undead like to be angry. Why? It's all because this album is about hate of what humankind has have become, and we don't. We're not scared of saying I fucking hate you for what you've done to that little Greta girl going around and spitting
Yeah.
it's all about this. I, how do you feel every day when you're just gonna get to the store and grab a can of soda or whatever, you just a bottled water, and say, I'm gonna fucking pee this shit in 15 minutes, and this thing gonna take 15 millions of years to go back to the earth, and it might be you can find it maybe in a whale's belly someday. Is gonna kill the whale and kill everything. Everybody's killing the earth, and everybody's like, "Oh, we gotta save the earth." Fuck you! You gotta save yourself. The earth's gonna fucking kill you when it's done. And I'm kind of really accelerated about seeing this and doing a live show like the apocalypse. Everybody's gonna fucking die at the same time, and I'm gonna be there to enjoy the show while playing Place du Parvis and stuff like shit like we do. So that's the point. We're pretty having fun in those, and we're having fun. If you listen to the intro of the Flaying, like we call it, Ouverture Écarlate, means kind of overture of the CD. Écarlate in French means like it gets red, and we call it the very art of flaying. So if you listen to what's happening to that person there, seems like there's a door opening and someone is going to take a tool, electric tool, and he's just going to make some holes in the guy while he's alive, so maybe taking off his skin. So we get pretty excited every show when it starts like this because it creates something that people are scared, and we laugh at that because we like to see fear. in their eyes when we start the music, and music is kind of pretty goofy music, So it is kind of clashing with okay, you're gonna hear this, and now you're gonna have all those scary guys on the stage, and blah 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 fucking blah. No, we're just going through this, and we like it, and we have those people like, oh, why are you laughing at this? This is pretty gross. It's because it's funny. We like that. We like when it gets awkward sometimes, and I like to create awkward shit. So just to see people's reaction. So I'm a kind of agitator like Satan.
Okay,
Nice.
serious question. How has the legalization of marijuana affected your life in Canada?
Oh, I can see that. I think things are getting more than I expected. I thought that it would be. How you could say that? It would put some like social assets in peril, but that's not what's happening. I think people still have that kind of they're shy to go to the store and get that say, oh, somebody's looking at me, am I fucking buying drugs right now? It's good. So as for myself, what you have to know is what we heard as lawyers is that the SCRS and the NSA, I think, the security and the intelligence of service. I think there's an issue if you go to a store that sells cannabis here in Canada and you pay with your card, your credit card. There is a list of people buying stuff like this. They don't get to, in the borders, they will know that you've been there. And I think states will can systematically
They
refuse
can,
someone
yeah.
that.
There's been a few cases where people they
So,
they,
so
they ask for their phone
So the
and they look at
legal
their phone.
advice,
Yeah.
the legal advice is this: is if you have to buy cannabis, just buy some cash. All right, cash is legal. Cash is legal. Cash is legal. It's not because it's cash that is like money laundering cash or stuff like this. But you want to stay anonymous? That's one point. You can be anonymous. It's legal to get that. It's legal for the states to refuse. But so if you go with your cards, you're fucked. If you go with cash, you're okay. You can
Yeah.
go.
So what you're saying is it hasn't really affected your life at all.
For me, no, I don't care about that. Even I saw Glenn Benton on the May 3rd. We play here in Quebec City. And I told him, say, oh, okay, if you need to go there, I don't know. He said, no, I don't smoke anymore. But if you want to do this and play music for all your life, he was like 52, I think. He said he should quit smoking and having a good health. So death metal is about life, a celebration of life. Death metal, death and life. Life kills, so whatever. You know.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Bruce, you got anything else?
I don't. That was pretty great. You got pretty in depth, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
All right, so you guys have a nice continuation of everything that you do, and just go there and go the Flaying. You look at that, Angry Undead. You get the music. You're gonna listen to this music. You're gonna listen to what's happening. It's like 30 minutes. You change. I think your life is gonna change after you get to this, and you're gonna go on and on and on and on and on, and just listening until you die.
I want to thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
All right, you guys. Thank you very much. Have fun.
Hey, be well. Take care, my friend.
Take care.
All right.
Kick ass in
Ciao.
court today.
Yes, we will. We will. All right.
I'm pleading the fifth.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See you.
Yeah. Bye.
There's
I can't
no,
tell you.
there's no Fifth Amendment in Canada.
Oh, okay. I have no idea, dude.
There's a similar thing, but it's not called the Fifth Amendment.
What's it called?
Well, in Canada, we have the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So, like how you guys have amendments in your constitution, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms just lays out all of your human rights, and it's the basis for law in Canada.
Gotcha.
So it's just a part of the document. It's not like a Fifth Amendment, or it's you have the right to shut up so you don't get yourself in shit.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the same sort of thing. But
It's exactly the same.
All right, so I'm going to say something, and this is by no means derogatory or anything. That was one of the most intense. That dude is intense.
Fuck yeah, man. He is from North Quebec.
I don't want to be on the other side of the witness box from him, and he'd eat you up.
Fuck no.
First of all, here's the things that were running through my head. First of all, I don't want to be on the other side of the box from him. If he breaks into that voice, he'll make me confess to anything. Fuck, I did it. Whatever it is, yes, I did it.
Yeah.
I do like this show, though, because we meet all kinds of people, and he was great in his own way. He was fantastic. But
Oh, yeah, he goes after Greta. I'm going to go to the store, and I'm going to get a can of soda. I'm going to fucking drink it, piss it out in 15 minutes. It's going to kill a whale. Fuck that.
pretty fantastic stuff.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.